Hey everyone, it's Chad, your Kenosha expert. Today I'm here with some condo wisdom. We're going to talk about condos, what they are, who buys them, why they live there, the pros and cons of living there, and why you may or may not want to buy them. By the way, if you can go ahead and like this video, it really does me a huge favor and helps my channel to continue to grow and gain new viewers and new subscribers. And do me a favor, leave me a comment down below on whether or not you like this content, if you have any questions at all, and what you think about condos. Are they for you? Are they not for you? Is a single family house better for you? Maybe apartment living is what's for you. I don't know, everybody has their own expectations, their own preferences. But I'm truly curious as to what you think is best. Condo living, single family living, or apartment living? Let me know down here in the comments. I really truly want to know. Now let's dive into the video. So what is a condo? So think of a condo as an apartment that you own. So basically you live in a community. It's typically a bigger building. Some of the buildings can have as many as 300 plus units. That's usually the bigger cities like Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison has some bigger buildings. Green Bay has some bigger buildings. Even here in Kenosha they have some bigger buildings. Maybe not 300 plus units, but they get up there maybe 50 to maybe 100-ish units. But in the bigger cities they have, 300, 400, maybe even 500 units. But think of it as an apartment that you own. You have your neighbors that are literally right next door to you. You walk out your door, you turn to the right, or you turn to the left, and there's your neighbor's door right there. There's usually a neighbor right across the hall from you too. Most condo complexes have multiple buildings, so you may live in building A, and then there may be like building B down the road there, or building C next to yours. Each condo has like a unit number, unit 101, unit 102. Maybe they go by letters, unit A, unit B, unit CC. It just totally depends on the complex and how they decide to letter them or number them. It makes it easier for the post office to deliver mail. It goes to a certain address like 6925 unit C. So it's kind of like an apartment that way. You get a unit number with an address. So a condo is, like I said, it's kind of like an apartment that you own. You don't rent it, you own it. Think of it as having your own private space in a community building without all the maintenance headaches. You don't fix the roof, you don't fix the siding, you don't have to pull the weeds out of the garden, you don't have to mow the lawn, you don't have to shovel the snow in the wintertime. You don't do any exterior maintenance at all. The only thing that you're maintaining is what's in your unit, so the four walls. That's the only downside, is that it's not like an apartment that way. You still have to fix the furnace, you still have to fix the plumbing when it goes out, that kind of stuff. We'll get more of that as we go through the video. Ownership. So what exactly do you own in a condo? When you buy a condo, you're not only buying your unit, you're also buying into the community. So when you buy a condo, you technically only own your four walls and what's inside those four walls. So how I explain to my clients is that you own the drywall in, plus the electrical and the plumbing that's behind the drywall. But you only own what's on the drywall in. You can only make improvements or changes of what's inside your unit. So if you want to paint inside your unit, that's perfectly fine. If you want to remodel inside your unit, that's perfectly fine. If you want to change the countertops, the flooring in your unit, that's perfectly fine. But if you don't like the carpet in the hallway outside your unit, you can't change that. That's up to the HOA. Only the HOA can change that. If you don't like the color of your deck, you want to stain the deck that's outside your unit, you can't change that. That's up to the HOA to do that. Only the HOA can do that. If your deck is falling apart and ready to fall off the side of the building, you can't do anything about that. You have to go to the HOA and ask them to fix that for you. If the siding on the side of the building is ready to fall off and needs some maintenance, you have to ask the HOA to fix that. If the roof on your building is starting to leak, it needs to be repaired, you cannot fix that. The HOA has to fix that. So you only own the what's in your four walls. That's the only thing that you own. But you're also buying in the community. So you technically also own a little part of the community. So let's say there are 25 units in your HOA in the condo complex. You own 1/25 of everything that the condo association owns. You have 1/25 of a voice when it comes time to vote for things. So the HOA, the condo association, when they want to make changes to things, they vote on things. every condo unit owner, they all get a voice on what happens. So the association, they typically don't just spend money willy-nilly. They have to have approval of the majority of the unit owners. So if they want to, let's say, change the lighting fixture in the hallways for whatever reason, let's say they're updating the hallways and they want to change the lighting fixtures, and maybe that gross green carpeting they put in the 1970s, they have to have the approval of all the unit owners, or at least the majority of them. So you get a say in that. They'll have like a community meeting. They'll go over the options that they've chosen. You get a say in which option you like best, and they'll have a vote. So when you buy your unit, you're also buying a stake in the community. So that's kind of cool. You have a stake in the community. You get a say in your little community there. It's kind of like having a vote in your city. You get a vote in your city. You get a little say. But your vote in the community, in your HOA, actually means a little bit more, because you're not getting a vote in thousands of people. Your voice is a little bit louder in a smaller community of only, tens of people, or maybe only hundreds of people. So, kind of a cool thing there as far as ownership goes. So almost all condos have shared spaces. They have like shared green spaces. They usually have some kind of like green community space, like a courtyard or something. When you first walk up to the condo space, it's like a courtyard. I literally just said it. I don't know why I'm rethinking it again. It's when you're walking up to the main entrance. It may not be totally green. Maybe there's some pavers or benches or something like that sitting out there. You usually don't get a yard with a condo, just because there's really no yard to have. There won't be a fence. Some condo associations allow pets, but there's really no place for you to let your dog, if you have a dog, run wild to, because it won't be fenced off. So you're gonna have to walk your dog on a leash outside all the time. So, in Wisconsin, it gets pretty cold in the wintertime. So if you don't like being outside in the cold, a condo may not be the best option for you. But if you really love your pet, you'll probably suffer through it. So a lot of condos also have a pool, maybe some kind of community like rec room, like a clubhouse. A lot of condos also have a gym that you can just go use. It may not be like the best gym, like the Planet Fitness that you'll see here in Kenosha, or the Recplex here in Pleasant Prairie, but it's a gym. It has some minimal equipment, like a treadmill, usually maybe a couple treadmills, some exercise bikes, and usually some free weights. Nothing super fancy, nothing extravagant, but it'll get the job done for a quick workout, a 20-30 minute workout for you. And it's included in your HOA dues, so you don't have to pay extra for a gym membership, unless you're like my wife and you want that motivation and accountability to make sure that you go to the gym. Then you may need to pay extra for that gym membership. But most condo associations do have a gym. Not all of them do, but a lot of them do. And going back to the pool and the clubhouse that a lot of condos have, all unit owners are available to use it anytime that they want. And then usually you can bring a guest if you want to. As long as the unit owner is there with the guest, you're able to bring at least a couple guests with you. So let's say you have your brother and sister, maybe nieces and nephews with you from out of town. You can bring them with you to the pool and enjoy the pool. You just have to have a unit owner there with you, with the guests while they're there. So honestly, living in a condo is kind of neat. It's kind of almost like a dream. It's almost like living in a hotel, except you have to maintain your own unit yourself. You still have to do your own laundry. You still have to make your own beds. You still have to clean your own unit. But you don't have to mow your own grass. You don't have to shove your own snow. You don't have to maintain the pool. You don't have to open and close the pool. And you don't have to clean. You don't have to pay for a gym membership or anything like that. So it's kind of cool that way. Let's talk about condo associations and what exactly are they responsible for. So the condo association themselves are responsible for all the exterior maintenance, setting up the grounds maintenance, so the lawn care, the weed pulling, if there's any trees on the property, the maintenance of those trees, making sure that those branches don't get out of control. They're responsible for the snow removal in the winter. If there's mulch in like the flower beds, they replace the mulch every year, maybe every other year. The driveway, like the parking lot, they usually reseal that. Probably not every year, but I think most condo associations do it every 3 to 5 years, depending on how bad it gets. They're also in charge of rule enforcement. So, if you park in the wrong spot, because condo associations usually have assigned spots for unit owners and also assigned spots for guests. So if you park in the wrong spot, they might give you a ticket. They might just give you a warning. It depends on the condo association. They might not give you anything at all. Depends on if there's anybody out there enforcing it at all or not. Some associations actively enforce that kind of stuff. Some don't. It just totally depends on the association. Like I said, they're in charge of all the outside maintenance. So when the roofs start going bad on the condos, they're in charge for getting quotes for that and hiring somebody to come in and fix those roofs or replace the roofs. If there's any problems with the basements or anything like that, they're in charge of getting quotes for that and hiring somebody to come fix that. The decks, I mentioned the decks earlier in the video. If the decks and the porches on the condos need to be replaced or fixed, they're in charge of getting quotes for that and then hiring somebody to come fix and replace all that. So the condo association is very important. They maintain the property, they enforce the rules, and they just make sure that everything runs smoothly. So if your condo association is a volunteer board, make sure that you're respectful to them and that you give them the proper gratitude, because they're probably not getting paid, because most condo boards are volunteer. They do not get paid, and they're often yelled at by residents, and they don't get the respect, I guess you could say, that I think that they deserve, because they have a really hard job on balancing everybody's wants and needs and those of the condos. And it's just a hard job, and it's, you don't get paid for it. It's a volunteer job, so you gotta juggle that along with your family life and your full-time job. So if you do have a volunteer board, more power to you. It's not something that I think I would want to do, but good for you. So how does the condo pay for all this stuff? How do they pay for the driveway resurfacing? How do they pay for the new decks? How do they pay for the lawn care and the snow removal? Well, every month, each condo unit owner, they pay a HOA due, a condo association fee. So that fee depends on the condo that you live in. Now, I've seen some fees be as low as like $100 a month, and then other fees I've seen them be as high as between like $800 to close to $1,000 a month. It just totally depends on the condo association that you live in. It depends on what you get for those fees. It depends on the high-end condo association that you live in. If you live in a higher-end condo association, like some of those in Chicago, where you get a lot of stuff for your condo association fees, like maybe a doorman, maybe a heated underground parking garage, maybe a 24/7 heated pool or something like that, you're probably going to pay a lot more condo fees than somebody here in Kenosha who doesn't have a doorman, maybe doesn't have garages, maybe their condo association doesn't really care about anything and their condos are starting to fall apart. So you gotta look at that kind of stuff. What are you paying for? You gotta look at that kind of stuff. What are you paying for in association dues, and do you think it's worth it or not? Are you getting a good value for your money or not? The other way that they pay for things, so when they have big costly expenses like a new roof on the buildings, they'll do what's called a special assessment on each unit owner in that building. So let's say your building needs a new roof. Well, new roofs are expensive, obviously, especially for big buildings. That new roof could cost between $50 and $100, up to $150, maybe $200,000 for a brand new roof. So most condo associations don't have that kind of money in reserves, or if they do, it would take up all of their reserves. And per their bylaws, they have to have so much money in reserves at all times. So instead of spending all their money in reserves at once, they put a special assessment on each unit owner. So the special assessment is basically like a special tax assessment that you would get on a single family home. It goes on your tax bill usually at the end of the year. It's spread out over a number of years, so you're not paying it all at once. The amount depends on how much the final bill is and how many years it's spread out over. If you decide to sell your condo unit, you're gonna have to pay that full special assessment off when you decide to sell the unit, but it just makes it more fair for everybody. So everybody gets a new roof and everybody's helping to pay for it all at once. Now, some condo units do have professional management companies that are off-site instead of the volunteer unit associations that are on-site, like I mentioned before. So that may also increase your HOA dues if it's a professional company that's off-site, just because they charge a little bit more. So if it's a professional company that's off-site, they may charge a fee to the condo unit association, like a percentage. It's usually between 10, 15, maybe 20% of the monthly dues that they collect every month. They collect that for themselves, and then they take care of everything. They take care of all the monthly repair requests. They take care of all the snow removal, the lawn maintenance, and everything like that. So one of the pros of owning a condo is obviously there's no exterior maintenance. You don't have to worry about repainting the condo ever. You don't have to worry about putting a new roof on yourself. You don't have to worry about mowing the grass ever. Definitely a pro for me. You don't have to worry about shoveling snow ever again. Another pro for me. You don't have to worry about pulling weeds ever again. I don't like pulling weeds either. You don't have to worry about, anything outside, rebuilding a new deck, anything like that. That's all handled by the association. So if you hate doing anything like that, then condo ownership may be something for you. However, if the idea of zero yard work does not get you excited, then condo ownership may not be for you. Because I do have some friends that absolutely love yard work. They love mowing their grass once, twice a week. They love pulling weeds. They even love painting their house. Some even love repairing their roofs. It's just the kind of stuff that gets them excited. So if that's the kind of stuff that you love doing, then you probably don't want to own a condo. A big con of owning a condo, you have limited personal say in property changes, and a lack of private yard and lots of neighbors. So definitely if you live in one of the bigger complexes of, let's say even 40, 50, 100 plus condo units, you have neighbors all over the place. You have neighbors below you, neighbors above you, to the left of you, to the right of you, unless you're on an end unit, of course. There's neighbors all over the place. There's neighbors constantly coming and going of all hours of the night, probably. There's a neighbor having a party late at night. You may be able to hear the music, depending on how well insulated the walls are. So it's definitely a con. It's kind of like going back to apartment living. So that's definitely a big con. There's no yard. If you have a pet, like I said earlier in the video, there's no yard for you to just let your dog out to run and play. You have to walk the dog all the time, or you have to take the dog to a dog park, or a friend's house and let the dog out in their yard. So who usually buys condos and why? So in my experience, the people that usually buy condos are retirees, so people who are older and don't want to deal with any of this stuff. They don't want to deal with yard work. They don't want to deal with outside maintenance. They just want a place to come home to, sleep, make some food, and they don't want to deal with the stress of homeownership. They say, you know what? If my furnace goes out, that's okay. I'll buy a new furnace, have it reinstalled. I can deal with that. I can deal with repainting a room or two. I can deal with installing new floors or new cabinets. I don't want to deal with all the exterior stuff. Let somebody else handle that. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. I just want to deal with coming home, enjoying my house, or my condo in this case, and nothing else. Young professionals who are never at home anyway, all they do is work. Maybe they work 50, 60, 70, 80 plus hours a week. So they don't have time for any yard work or anything that's home maintenance related. They're just too busy for it. So condo living is perfect for them. They don't have any time to come home and cut the grass on the weekends. They don't have any time to clear their driveway of snow. They don't have any time to repaint the house. Sure, they could hire all that stuff out, but you still have to meet the contractor there. And ideally, if you're doing anything on the inside of the house, you want to be there when there's somebody inside your house. So, condo living is still perfect for them because all the outside work is done for them. If there is anything that needs to be done on the inside of the condo, you can just take a day off and have it done real quick. Downsizers, I see a lot of people downsizing from a huge house down to like a condo. They just want something smaller, you know, a small footprint, one floor. They don't want to deal with multiple floors. Again, they don't have to deal with any of the outside work. They just want one floor. Instead of looking for a whole ranch house and paying a lot of money for a single family house, they'd rather pay a little bit less for a condo and just buy a condo and just go that route. Condos are really popular with people who want more freedom and flexibility, but still enjoy being close to a community. So if you like being close to a community, so like people that think a lot like you probably want to live in a condo association, because obviously the people that live with you have similar thoughts to you, similar ideals to you, because they all live in a condo with you. So you all probably have the similar ideals, similar thoughts, similar thinking. So what do you think? Are condos for you? Do you enjoy the relative maintenance-free lifestyle? Do you not want to have to worry about mowing your grass, about shoveling your snow, about replacing that deck, about resealing the driveway every 3 to 5 years? What do you think? Is that for you? Do you want a smaller footprint? Instead of buying that 1,500 to 3,000 square foot house, maybe you only want a condo. Condos are typically only 500 to maybe 1,500 square feet at the most. So you're not gonna find a condo that's really huge. So if you're looking to downsize your home, a condo may be the best bet for you. And honestly, if you're in a single family home and you're already paying for somebody to cut your grass and shovel your snow every season, those HOA dues that you're probably paying the same amount for somebody to cut your grass and shovel your snow as well. So the HOA dues and paying somebody to cut your grass and shovel your snow are probably almost a wash. HOA dues may be a little bit more. I don't know. I've never actually checked the math. They probably be a lot more. Or do you think condo lifestyle isn't for you? Maybe you enjoy the mowing your grass, shoveling your snow, the outside maintenance of repairing your deck or painting your house. What do you think? Let me know down here in the comments. Which one do you like better? Single family lifestyle or condo lifestyle? Personally, I enjoy single family homes. I just enjoy a house that's completely and totally mine. I don't want anybody else telling me what I can and can't do to the outside. I don't want anybody telling me where I can and can't park in my house. I enjoy a single family house, and you know, I still feel like it's a community there with the neighborhood, and I love getting out there and talking to all my neighbors. But I have lots of friends that love the condo lifestyle. So what do you think? Leave it down here in the comments. Tell me what you think, condo lifestyle or single family lifestyle? Which one is best for you? I'd really love to know. If you found this video at all informative, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. It really does a lot for me and helps me continue to grow. It really does a lot for me and helps me continue to grow my channel. And if you find that you keep coming back to my channel to watch more of these videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so YouTube can do its thing and let you know when I drop new videos at least twice a week. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.